You can support this show at patreon.com/ASAPodcasting. Welcome back. Skyrim Addict Podcast 180. I'm here. It's Michael with Colin.
Evening, guys.
And Ray.
Hello, hello.
And Victor should be possibly coming along momentarily. So we were talking about Vortex. So I just actually downloaded it. And on the dashboard, it shows the tools that I have added to it. And it does show, what does it show? The SSE Edit, Rybash, 4's new idols or something, and Skyrim Script Extender. But then you're saying I also have to add it in as a mod, or is that?
So those are just the they're just the buttons that you can press. I believe that you have to download like Fitness, and you have to download SKSE, and then you put that into you download it, put that into your main folder. Once Victor gets here, he'll be able to explain, because I only follow what the video instructs me to do. So as I said, the easiest one that I found was epoxies.
Okay, I'll just go right to that. Yeah,
and it's easy. It's probably about 10 minutes into the video, I think, or halfway through the video, I think it is, and it just shows him where you go to the latest iteration, download the latest file, then you use 7-zip to extract here. I usually just do it straight to the desktop, extract files here, and then you take out the scripts, Control-Alt, so you choose all the files apart from, I think it's the top 2 folders, and then you
so you extract all the actual loose files in that into your main Skyrim folder.
Okay.
And then the two that are in folders, you make an archive of those 2 folders. If you use 7-zip, then you do a 7-zip archive of those 2 folders, and then that's what you put into Vortex as your mod.
Okay.
So you activate those through Vortex, but the hard files you leave in your Skyrim folder.
Gotcha. All right. Yeah, I was just wondering because I saw it. I literally was just doing it maybe an hour ago, so I saw the tools listed, but I was like, I didn't actually add any of those in. And I was like, so I didn't know what they were actually doing there. So I guess but also one of the tools is to start playing the game. So yeah.
Yeah. And those, so once you do load Script Extender, then you go in and click on the 3 dots on the side of that button.
Yeah.
To make it primary.
Oh, okay.
And then that's when you launch from the big button in the upper left corner, it'll launch through Script Extender, and it'll say SSE Script Extender.
Okay, yeah, because right now it says not configured, so I can't actually launch through it. So yeah, okay, that makes more sense then. All right, well, that's what I got to work on next. So because it was there was a bunch of Gopher videos, like 8 or 9 of them or something like that for Vortex in general.
Yeah.
So yeah. But I'll have to go to the SKSE video and get that set. That was one thing I did not do. So it was pretty simple to get that organized. The only other issue I was having is getting the button and right on the dashboard to be able to download the Nexus mods right from Vortex or whatever. But it's really not that big a deal. It's still giving me the option to send them to Vortex when I download from Nexus, but I just set it up on the other screen or whatever. I said I had to like clear my cache or something to get it to work or something like that.
And it might just be, kind of a legacy thing in my brain, but I always manually download the files for the mods, and then load them through the install from file option in Vortex.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I have no idea why I do that, but it's just the way that I've always done it. Because one time, 100 years ago, I saw that's the best thing you should do.
Yes, yeah. The only things I downloaded were I only downloaded 4 mods at the moment, just because I wasn't even playing it yet. I was just messing around and seeing what was going on. So I just what was it? Just the patch, of course, alt start, quality world map, and then legacy of the Dragonborn. But I'm gonna have to do the SKSE thing for that anyway. So.
I think you need Sky UI as well. I think because you'll have that'll give you the MCM, the mod configuration menu.
Oh, okay. So use Sky UI also.
Yeah.
And the different mods will tell you what they need to be able to run. So probably the biggest challenge I have is when you load the mods, the file name comes up as the description of the mod.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of mod authors are really bad about the way they, name their files. And so you'll have no idea what in the world it does. So, so if you go into the mod menu and click over on the right side, you can bring up the detail menu. Okay. And it gives you the option to rename it.
Yeah.
And so, I go in when I download that mod, I go in and name it something that I know is going to be, making sense to me.
Yes. Yeah.
And then if I download a mod, I also go over, there's a little notes section in that same window that you can go in and list all the dependencies.
Okay.
So that you have it easy access,
easy to find, and so know.
So you don't have to constantly go back to Nexus and look it up and see what the dependencies are.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Or just let it continue to give you error messages. You need this. Oh, okay, so then you go in and you load that. You need this. So you go in and go load that. So it'll go through and tell you everything you need.
Yeah.
Based on what the mod's kicking out to Vortex.
Okay.
But it's easier if you can just have all that information together already
ahead of time and ready to go. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. It makes a lot more sense to do it that way. So next step for me, SKSE then on this to get this ready to go. So otherwise it's running well. It looked pretty good. I was able to open up Skyrim and get it running through Vortex with just, I think I just had the alt start unofficial patch and world map on there. I just wanted to make sure, like I didn't get the weird cart bouncing down the road or anything else like that.
Right.
The square wheels or whatever, the wheels falling off cart and just played around with it just to make sure everything was starting up properly first. And it was all smooth so far. So next step is getting Legacy going after SKSE and all that and whatever goes with it. What was Colin, what was the one you were mentioning, the mod you were mentioning? Zims or Zins or something like that? Or
yeah, Zims, I believe. ZIMS, I believe.
Mm-hmm. And that it was like different artifacts or something. Yeah, I was trying to find that, and then I got a lot of scantily clad mods surrounding my search. And I was like, all right.
Yeah, that's kind of odd. It's
kind of every search, but
Yeah.
I was like, it's not what I was looking for.
Yeah.
Sorry, Zim's Immersive Artifacts.
Oh, okay. I will check that.
ZIM''S.
I'll definitely add that one on. And let's see. So yeah, I'll probably start at just a new character with Legacy then, and play through it and all the different things. And you were saying it works with a lot of other questing mods and stuff like that as well. Has like patches for that kind of stuff and all.
Yeah, I know Moon Pass to Elsewhere is integrated with it. And I think mostly it's just that the things that you can find within those mods, like, the named weapons you get in there or the artifacts and stuff like that, is that the mod creates a place for you to display them.
Oh, that makes sense. Adds it to the the display area, museum area. Yeah.
The museum, yeah.
Yep. Ah, cool. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's my next adventure. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, there's a few immersive ways you can begin the mod. You can just go to Solitude and start it that way, but there's also I won't tell you everything, but it's you can go to certain places and find information that'll lead you to it. So.
Okay.
Very well done.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna do it in alt start somewhere, and maybe left on was it Left 4 Dead or whatever, one of those ones, attacked by bandits or whatever it was, one of those, or maybe at an inn. Inn's always nice. It's less dangerous. It's less random and dangerous starting out.
When you first start out, I think the very first start the mod is all scripted. When it starts off and he sends you after certain things, they're always the same things, first 3 things that you get, and then after that, then it's all random generally, so you can go and pick things up that you find everywhere. It doesn't have to be specifically sent by him to go and grab certain things. So you'll find things all over the world, in all different dungeons, and they'll just be sitting on a table in a boss room, or they'll be in somebody's house, and be random. What was weird once is I have the Winter Sun Faiths, and one of the items that you find for the museum was on one of the statues that's from Winter Sun Faiths, but that's not an integrated mod.
I
don't know how it happened. I think it's just where this statue was for the divine that you can go and start to worship through Winter Sun Faiths, just happened to be near the place of where they placed this artifact, and they just randomly stuck it on, and it just mixed 2 mods together without actually being integrated. That's a little bit weird.
That's an odd one. Yeah.
I see there is a patch for Winter Sun.
I don't have it.
No, it just adds displays.
I don't have the patch.
This patch list is huge.
Immersive weapons, immersive armors. You got Moon Pass to Elsewhere, and what's some of the other big ones? I've forgotten the name of the other weapon mods, uniques, and was it special bows? I think maybe Hunter Porn is in there, maybe. So you get weapons and stuff like that, and Hunter Porn that you can make. I'm not sure if it's in there.
Yeah, it's not on the patch list. Yeah, but I think a lot of stuff still just plays with the mod.
Yeah. But there's also massive armory, and I'm talking there's about 2 armories that I extra armories with displays that you can put up whatever you want, and there's 30 mannequins in each one, and there's like all displays right next to them. So shield displays, weapon displays. Was it? I've forgotten what they're called. Those display cases you can put stuff in and everything. The only thing I will recommend is if you can, because when you're putting stuff up for display, when you get a relic, you can go back and there's this thing called, I forgot what it's called, but it's like a reproduction desk. It's like a smithy thing where you go to make stuff, and it's a desk. And you can find it in the player home that he supplies you, and inside the main office. And basically, you can make a replica of the artifact you can find. So you display the replica instead of the original. Okay. So you can still keep on using the original, but still have the display up. And you can only make replicas of it if you have it on you, or if it's something like, things like Tolfdir's Alembic. So obviously you have to give that back to Tolfdir. But if you go and do the quest, when you go back, you can make Tolfdir's Alembic at this desk, make a replica of it, and then display the replica. You don't have to, steal his and then put it on display and then never finish the quest. But you can finish the quest beforehand, and the mod will remember that you have completed that quest. And when you go back to this table, you can make a replica of it and display that. Like the same with the Torque of Labyrinthian. So, you get that big door knocker to try and get into Labyrinthian and the Maid Scholar quest. Obviously you have to be able to use it to get in. And once you finish the quest, you can go back and make a duplicate of it and display that.
Huh. Okay. Yeah. I always wondered how that worked out, because I wondered if it was, you had to make the decision of whether you were going to keep it or use it in the quest. So that is handy.
Yeah. Sorry. Just quick. I would recommend, if you can, make a replica of everything.
Just make a replica. Huh.
Because there's certain things that you need, like for certain quests. And I found, the Dragon Priest masks. Sometimes the display won't activate, so I can't pull the Dragon Priest mask off. And I'm like, crap.
Right. If you wanted to use it, you're screwed.
Yeah. But it's just a little bug that sorts itself out. So you go away, you do, a few quests for a few days, you come back, and then it's fine again. You can pull the mask off, use it, and then go back again. It's just a tiny little bug, but if at that particular time you need that exact thing, or you're certain, I like to have Norak's mask when I'm going up against the Falmer, because that makes you immune to poison, and obviously they hit you with all the poison arrow. It's only afterwards I found out that it doesn't work against Falmer poison, because Falmer poison is automatic.
So it doesn't walk around.
Well, it didn't seem to work. They seem to be kicking my ass pretty easy, even though I was wearing the fucking mask. It could be that I just suck, but I'm going to go with it doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
Totally broken. It doesn't work.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, what you call it? Sky UI has these little widgets that come up, on the side of the screen, which has tells you what effects are on it. So it'll show the picture of this monster with two horns in it, to show that you have a summon up, and then it has this shield thing to say that you got mage armor, and they all come up on the right hand side of the screen. Every time I kept on getting hit by a Falmer weapon and it had poison on it, it would say Falmer poison, and then it would slowly drain down, and my health was going down. So as far as I'm concerned, I think it wasn't preventing their poison from it. It's only, but that's the only. No, sorry, yeah, it's probably frostbite.
You can stand in front of a frostbite spider.
Yeah, and you can.
Or a Chaurus.
Chaurus, yeah, that's it. But for some reason, maybe it was working. It wasn't doing the damage. It was just that's how long it lingered, and it was just that obviously he was like a farmer, like a Shadow Master or something like that. Because that's all I keep on facing that now, because I'm I've been like level 81 for ages now, and I keep on facing whatchamacallit, when I was doing the Dawnguard quest, the Night Master. So not Master Vampires, Night Master Vampires. And like I had 100 destruction with all the perks for whatchamacallit, shock spells.
Mm-hmm.
And I had like that really really good shock spells from Apocalypse. And I was like, must have been about a good 15 dual cast thunderbolts straight into a Night Master, and he was just luckily when he gets below 25% health, I have this perk from Ordinator that causes anybody, like if you hit somebody with a shock spell and they're below 25% health, it causes them to fall on the floor and start going like they're being electrocuted. It's and there's another perk called Absolute Power, obviously from like Star Wars. So you know when you're using fucking what's his name, or Darth Sidious when he's got the old electric bolts coming out of his fingers.
Oh yeah.
And this perk is that when you hit somebody below a certain amount of health again, it lifts them up into the air. And you just hold them in front of you and start, like, hitting them with thunderbolts or, what's the other one? Chain lightning is my favorite. Because obviously I was running around mostly on my own. So chain lightning, I can just, hit with a free abandon because I can kill everything around me. I don't have to worry about a follower or anything like that. Didn't work in cities, but apart from Markarth, because I don't mind killing all the guys in Markarth.
Yeah, I was just reading through the requirements for Legacy, actually. Or, yeah, there was only... actually, SKSE and SkyUI were optional, but it limits some of the functions, obviously.
Yeah.
So... And the patches are required to enhance the museum based on your installed mods. So, and then the list of mods that mods requiring this file, are a lot. Surprising, yeah, tons. Let's see. Oh, there is a Beyond Bruma, of course, patch, which is good. I was just going through and just scanning through it and seeing. I don't think I've ever actually used SkyUI, even when I played PC previously.
I love it.
Yeah, I don't think I ever have. I have to.
The favorites menu and they've just the last iteration that came out with was a while ago. They redid alchemy and smithing and enchanting, so they changed all those windows as well.
Oh, nice.
They don't work that much differently, but is a little quicker, a little easier, and you see a lot more information.
Yeah. I've always used the old clunky original user interface.
Yeah. I like it because you just press P and you go to the powers and you got all your spells there and they're all sectioned off and they're not like in a line. They're all right next to each other.
Okay.
Turn about through. And then I recently found out doing groups inside the favorites menu. Mm-hmm. So all you have to do is go to favorites, then I press spacebar, and then it goes into groups, and then I can go from restoration spells, destruction spells, all the way, and then you can list your favorites from your favorites and make it quicker and easier to find. So you can shift through whether you want to do a shout, a power, and there's spells and things like that. It's made it a lot quicker and a lot easier to fast play. So instead of you're in the middle of a fight, you need to take change to a healing spell or something like that. It's a lot quicker doing it that way than it is on the old system.
Okay. Yeah, and I did find the temper replicas for Legacy of the Dragonborn when I was just looking through some crafting ones. If we can expand it. Yeah, God. I forgot how many there were on the Nexus compared to Xbox. It's also much easier to search. There's that as well. God, that's going to be a lot of research here to see what I'm going to play with. I may just go pretty basic with the legacy and just go with that so I don't get too bogged down the first run through.
Yeah, as I said, the first time I did it, it was only with legacy, and then this time around, I integrated immersive weapons. I didn't do immersive armors because Victor said that there's some problems with save bloat or something like that with immersive armors. He didn't say anything about immersive weapons, so I thought, well, okay, I'll go with it.
Well, then I will avoid both of those, of course. But yeah, I'll probably just go pretty simple with it. That way I can kind of explore that specific legacy first before and get to know that before I do anything else, you know. And let's see. And yeah, I was just going through all that kind of stuff. It's been so long since I've been on Nexus too. I have to upgrade to premium too, so I can actually download at a reasonable speed.
Yeah, I'm still on the basic. I don't mind waiting.
Yeah, it's not that slow. I mean, Legacy of Dragonborn did take like 20 minutes to download, but that was it. And Victor's here.
Howdy.
Welcome.
Yeah, so I downloaded Vortex and started messing around with that. I just have to add in SKSE because I wasn't sure about that yet. So that's where we were in the very basics of the beginning.
Uh-huh.
And I'm going to probably run through and play Legacy with not much else but Legacy and, you know, some other little things. But
I tried that once.
That way I can enjoy Legacy, I guess.
Yeah.
And see what's in it and all that kind of stuff. Get a feel.
Yeah, it includes Moonpath Elsewhere and a couple of other things, or at least support for them.
Okay.
So, yeah. If not the whole mod. So, but you can add stuff like that in later.
Yeah, as long as you have the patches, I assume. Yeah.
I think so. Some of them don't need patches. Moonpath doesn't need patches. Yeah,
okay, some are right in it, but
yeah.
Yeah, because Colin, you were saying you got a character up to 81 just playing through it?
Well, not just that, because to get all the stuff, you have to play through the entire game.
Yeah, so. Yeah. Playing through the game plus, building your, adding to the museum and all that kind of stuff, basically.
Yeah, I'm currently at about 1,700 artifacts, I think. I've been playing the Long Dark the past few days. But currently up to about 1,700, and I think I'm near the end of the quest for the museum. I think there's a few loose ends that need to be tied up because there's a few like empty spaces that need to be filled and stuff like that in the museum. Because he does quest displays as well, so you got that to look forward to.
Oh, good. Another reason to play through everything again.
Yeah, totally.
I've been in Valhalla, of course, but I've kind of hit a wall almost, an excitement wall, I guess. That's what we'll call it.
Oh well,
a joy wall.
It's a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, I mean, I've played a lot of hours, but it gets a little fun. It takes you like almost out of the quest for a while to another quest. Because their main quest is pretty, straightforward. But there's some other stuff, and I'm like kind of stalled in all of it and have to go to Asgard for a while, and I'm getting a little like, I'm like, all right, this is good and all, but I was kind of in the middle of doing something and I wanted to finish it, but now I have all this to do before I can even continue on and finish it. Yeah. I was like, man. There's I believe a Saturnalia festival happening in my town though, so there's that.
In Valhalla?
I think so. I think that's what they called it.
Saturnalia. That's way post Roman. Right?
Oh yeah. Well, you have the we're in. There are some Roman ruins still around in the UK, so I guess it's kind of they're playing off of that maybe.
Interesting.
I think that's what it was called. I don't know. I have to see what the festival is called exactly. Or maybe I'm mixing up Skyrim and my my Saturnalia character.
Yeah.
Because they do have on the, which I'm sure they have it on in mods as well. But if you're using if you use Creation Club or anything, they do have like a Saturnalia outfit and gear and stuff. Where you get the reindeer and all that kind of stuff. The elk or whatever it is. Yeah. I think I got it free last year. So that's why I have it. A lot of times those are like free around the appropriate time of year. So like some of the goblins and bone animals and stuff are free around Halloween, and then the other stuff's free in like the winter holiday season. So if it's good free content.
It's always free on the Nexus, Michael.
Exactly. That is true. Yeah.
Is Legacy in the Creation Club? I thought he had. I know it's not on. It can't be up on Xbox. It's too big.
No, I don't think it was on Xbox. I mean, it would be amazing if they added it through Creation Club. Honestly.
Yeah. No, I don't think it can be. It's too much. Too many things. Too many moving parts.
Yeah, most of the stuff on there is pretty straightforward. Yeah. If it's a quest, it's like a new area or dungeon or cave or whatever, and you go through that. If it's a home, it's in a new, like the one for outside of Whiterun is in an open area that isn't used in the game. So everything's pretty clean that you add in. Obviously, some of the creatures and stuff are, in different areas. Like I think I have bone wolves or something like that attack during random areas with ghosts and stuff like that. So they pop up in random areas. But
I was going through some of the new Nexus stuff because I haven't downloaded anything for a while, and there were some new creatures, new Skyrim creatures popped up. I'm just looking at the Hungers. That's one. Whatever those are from. Hungers or Hungers.
Huh.
It's from some other game somewhere. They look pretty good. The models.
They're a Daedra from Morrowind.
Morrowind?
Okay.
Well, somebody popped those in. They look good, too. Good, nice models. And a couple other things. Some interesting looking. There's one new mod called Homes for Everyone. Lets you buy the built-in homes without having to do the quests that lock them.
That makes sense. It just makes them available as long as you have the funds for them.
Yep, including the Hearthfire stuff. There's
nice.
One for the Hearthfire and one for the main.
Oh, nice.
So I don't know how well it works. I didn't read any of the posts, so.
That's an interesting way, though. If you're going to play differently, where you're not going to be like a Thane or something, but you still want a house in town or whatever, to be part of the economy or whatever. Yeah,
exactly. Just opens it up yet one tiny little bit more.
Yeah,
to do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying my Fallout 4 run lately. I've been playing that pretty much exclusively except for some Cyberpunk and a few other things for the last month or so. So it's a lot of fun. I never really did much of the Automatron.
That one.
DLC. Yeah. So he's going through that with Ada right now.
It's been a while since I've been in Fallout 4. Actually,
it's great. I did this one with the idea at the beginning to do it with a sort of a Major Slack kind of start, and then I just sort of riffed off that after a while. So he's pretty much a rifleman with high perception, but doesn't use VATS very much. I don't really. I like to aim. Sorry about my glasses; they keep reflecting. But yeah, so he went strictly for the railroad, helped out the Quincy folk, and then sort of didn't abandon them, but went for the railroad for quite a while, then came back. Then I took a couple more points in charisma so I could get local leader and started building settlements and things. And it's been a lot of fun. It's a slow burn. He's level 41 right now. Didn't even go to the Institute until he was level 39.
Oh.
So, yeah, I just took it really slow.
Nice.
It's been fun, yeah. And I haven't done anything else. No Minutemen, no Brotherhood of Steel, just strictly a railroad. He's loyal to the railroad. So
yeah, I think it's hard in that to go multiple factions because of how like opposed they are. Honestly, like they're so vastly different. It's
yeah, you got to sort of turn the role playing down a little bit and just go for the game, and enjoy all the different quests for their own sake. I suppose you could sort of build a story around all of them.
Yeah,
you're a spy or something. Who knows?
Yeah, I guess it's kind of like being in the Thieves Guild and being in Dark Brotherhood and being in the Companions all at the same time.
Right. Well, this guy expressly went to the Institute with the intent of spying for the railroad, rather than even worrying about his son too much. He's he'd already figured out some of that, so he's definitely going to be making nasty things happen at the Institute.
Oh man. Subterfuge at the Institute.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, but
Well, I mean, it is a new game, relatively new game
compared
to. Oh man!
So I take it you haven't talked about Cyberpunk yet.
No.
Oh yeah, I don't even know if we want to. It's not even it's pretty. It's kind of getting into the weeds these days. I posted in our chat that New York Times article because I don't think I've ever seen the Times actually lead a game about an article about video games.
Yeah, that's pretty rare.
So yeah, and it was right after Sean had told me that the SEC was looking into the whole thing. So pretty unprecedented.
Yeah, that's pretty unusual.
Yeah.
And that's all based on the older console stuff, right? And
well, the SEC thing is based on their the suspicious looking nature of some of the comments made by CEO and others prior to the game's launch,
prior to release,
and thinking that they were trying to get things to the launch so they could reap the benefits of the first couple of days of the buying. I mean, what, it was 1 million concurrent users on Steam. I mean, so at first it was a huge windfall, and then so that's what the SEC is looking into. They don't really give a damn about video games.
Yeah. I meant more of based on did they properly inform when they released it and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
right. Just Colin, in case the SEC is the Security and Exchange Commission that oversees stock markets, et cetera. Here, it's all that stuff there.
Yeah, I read some comment somewhere that somebody only cares about that stuff when you're the CEO of the company. It doesn't matter if you're like a programmer. It doesn't matter. But when you own a company, I think that was you actually who said that.
Yeah, well, it makes a difference when you're a publicly traded company.
Yeah, that was it. That's what they were saying.
Yeah,
I was vaguely, but from what I heard last time, and then stuff like the comments in the group, I wasn't going to get the game anyway, so it didn't really bother me that much.
Yeah, no, I'm not sorry I did, but I'm not playing it a whole lot right now. I'd like to. But anyway, it's we'll all see what happens in the next 3 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, is it something that can be like fixed over time? Like just a.
I have no doubt that given the chance to make good, that CD Projekt Red will make good, just like Hello did for No Man's Sky. Right?
Yeah,
it might take a while, but I think they've lost a fair amount of
goodwill and all.
Goodwill, yeah.
Well, that definitely happened at the beginning with No Man's Sky too. People were like off the train pretty quickly.
Yeah. And there's certainly talent at that studio. So and the game is great. I mean, Ray, you played a lot of it. I've only played like 15 hours maybe, and so I'm only talking based on my very limited experience. But it's beautiful, and there's a lot to be said good for it as well.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I got started on a Netrunner character.
Oh, cool.
And just really, really sunk into that one. It's like being a mage in Skyrim.
Yeah,
almost exactly. You're a destruction mage. Only you hack into cameras and kill people that you can see on camera. And, instead of having to cast a spell at them, standing in front of them.
Yeah, that's the element of it that I was saying is sort of like Watch Dogs, because that's exactly what you do in Watch Dogs, except you don't have that. Some of the mechanics are different, but you hack into cameras, you hack into various other things, and that's how Watch Dogs works.
Yeah, but yeah, it's they stepped in it, and whenever your CEO makes comments that can impact the price of the stock,
it's a bad thing.
that are later found out to be false. You're going to get a hand slap, pretty hard.
Yeah.
The same thing happened to Elon Musk a few months ago. Where he made a comment that impacted the stock price, and he was just being flippant. Because he's one of these tech guys that are they're used to brash statements in their user groups. Bragging and cutting on everybody. You just can't do that when you're a CEO of a publicly traded company.
Yeah. It's
also, I think Elon Musk is certifiably insane.
Yeah. Well, yeah. There's a possibility there.
Yeah.
So. Genius, insane.
Yeah.
Fine line.
Those are either side of a very sharp sword.
Yeah.
I did see a video when I was flicking through Facebook earlier on, those little 10-minute videos or 5-minute videos that you get in there, and there was some guy showing the difference between GTA 5 and Cyberpunk, and it was stuff like when you shoot a gun into the water in GTA 5, it makes a splash, but it doesn't in Cyberpunk. When you throw a grenade into grass, it sets it on fire in GTA 5, but it doesn't do it in Cyberpunk. Stuff like you can get smoking tires, when you hold on the brake and press the accelerator in a car in GTA 5. But if you do it for too long, the wheels explode. They heat up and explode. But it doesn't do that in in Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
And then the other one was a car. If you're standing in the middle of the road in GTA 5, a car will come up to you and then it'll wait like a minute. And then the driver of the car will go, fuck you, and drive around you. Whereas the driver in Cyberpunk will just drive up to you and then just sit there and wait until you move.
Yeah.
I've been hit so many times, going across the street. And,
that's true.
They stop for the pedestrians, the regular, NPCs walking around in the city. They'll stop. But if you're in the street, they're going to hit your ass.
Yeah.
And it knocks you on the ground.
The AI is really isn't all that great, though, is it? I mean, compared to some other games.
Yeah.
Also, I noticed. So, speaking of GTA 5, one of the first things I did in GTA was, after all the prologue and everything was over, same thing I did in Cyberpunk, was get the hell out of Dodge. And I went when I drove out of Los Santos in GTA. I just kept driving and driving and driving and driving. That world is freaking huge. And I stopped somewhere way north of Los Santos, and there was a gas station, and there was an NPC in there, and it was amazing. In Cyberpunk, I drove a couple hundred yards north of the city, and then all of a sudden it said, "You don't want to go there," and booted me back, 200 yards, which that annoyed me a little bit. I thought the world was a lot bigger. But,
yeah.
And I'm sure
there, if you go to the south east of the map, there's quite a bit of space.
Yeah, I eventually skirted around the city and went in that direction. Yeah, I just went due north, I think, and there wasn't much there.
Yeah, the city's in the northwest corner of the map. But yeah, it's been fun, but it's not, it's not a game that I'm going to be playing in 11 years.
Yeah,
on my 400th character.
Yeah. It's too bad, and it brings up a thing about player agency. It brings up a thing about these games that are calling themselves open world RPGs that really aren't, so now the sort of the open world banner has been taken up with all these sort of like Medieval Dynasty and a couple other games they're very open world, but there's no plot.
Yeah.
There's almost no plot to them. So you can live in them, but there's no, they have limited playability as well.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering where since Bethesda seems to be still mired in coming out with a game sometime in 2028, who's gonna come up with a game that satisfies that urge? That's why I'm still playing Fallout 4 and why we're all still playing Skyrim.
Yeah,
Exactly.
there's nothing that hits that mix just right of open world and story. Yeah, because I guess technically Assassin's Creed is open world because you can run around and go everywhere, but there's only like maybe 2 stories really, and if you're not following them, you're just running around doing the same thing over and over, and there's nothing. You have you can't change anything or be anything else. You just are what you are, and that's it.
Right. You can't start as an Argonian with separate attributes or whatever. No.
You can't just live in the world, or you can't just do X or do Y. If you're not doing this, you're just running in circles, doing the same thing over and over.
So speaking of that, I was the Long Dark that I'm playing on survival mode. So there's no story.
There's a survival mode to a survival game.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Yeah, there's no story, no plot, no NPCs.
Oh, right, of course. I haven't followed that, so I'm sorry to interrupt. But the first time I played it was when it first came out, and there wasn't really much of a story then either. So, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So you got story mode, which is called Winter Mute, I think, and then you got survival mode, which is basically you just choose like how difficult you want to go, and then you just pop you in a map. So there's the easy mode where it's just like explorer mode, which is the animals like the wolves and the bears won't attack you, so you can literally just explore all the maps as much as you want. And then there's like 4 more, I think, after that. It's Scout or something like that. Then Interloper, and then Stalker. I think Stalker is the toughest. And really, you can't really play that straight off the bat because you need, like, the more you play, you get these things called badges. So when you start a new playthrough, you can activate these badges in a new playthrough that gives you benefits. Like there's one for lighting fires. So when you get this badge, every game you start off with, you start off at level 3. Fire starter, which is that you don't need tinder, and that's to help you light fires, not to look for like dirty rum meats or whatever. And then there's like ones where you can walk out where you get less cold when you walk in blizzards and all of that sort of thing. But apparently the really rare thing to find throughout the entire game in survival mode is a moose. It's like they're the rarest of the rare. You hardly ever find them, apparently. But you can look for signs of where they are, and they only show up every now and then. See loads of wolves, rabbits, and deer and things like that, but every once and so often you will come across a moose. Was it because I'm not Canadian or American? It was like moose, deer, it's all the same.
Yeah, not really.
Yeah. So... yeah, I got a clock and I was like, right, I'm going to shoot this guy and kill him and skin him and all like that. And the way to kill something with the gun, because it's pretty difficult. You can't run and gun and things like that. You're supposed to be a hunter, which, like, obviously in real life, I hate hunters, but this is a role playing game, so I'm going to role play. So, and the way to kill things is to sit there and wait and wait. So the only things you really kill are deer and wolves. Now, wolves, when they see you, they'll run at you and attack you if you're in most of the places, apart from the easiest one where they'll just ignore you, like in real life. But they'll run straight at you. So therefore you wait basically and you see the whites of their eyes. But if they get too close, they'll jump you and you won't have a chance to shoot. So you got to time it just right and you hit them square in the chest and it's an instant kill shot. It's the same with the deer. You have to wait until the deer turns so he's right in front of you so you can get him square in the chest and go through the heart, and that will be an instant kill. But if you miss, like, get slightly to the side or you hit him in the side, it scares him and he bleeds and then he runs, and then you've got to track him. So as he's bleeding, you're following his footsteps and his blood to try and find him to where he goes. So hopefully when he does die, you can find him and then skin him and harvest him, all his meat, and then bring it back. But sometimes they just disappear. It happened to me more than once, and it's really annoying. But anyway, I found this moose, so I got up close, got closer and closer, and then I waited until he was right in front of me so I could get him square in the chest. But just at the last second, he went down to get another bite of the old grass, and I hit him square in the head or the antlers, things like that, and they must have been reinforced. And he saw me, and then he just came charging straight at me and headbutted me to the ground, broke 3 of my ribs, knocked me, and then started like slamming down into my chest. Luckily, I was like, I've been playing for quite a while. So I had really good clothing, like really thick, because your clothing is your armor. It sort of like keeps you warm and sort of like keeps you protected. So he didn't manage to kill me. But I was like, in that mood that I just got up and then followed him. Instead of like going back and licking my wounds, I followed him. And I came up behind him. I was like, you're going to get it. And he has his face opposite me, so I just shot him in the ass. But it must have gone through his ass and all the way through into his chest because he just died instantly.
Oh, no. What kind of weapon are you shooting? What is it, like a 30-06?
Yeah, 308 hunting rifle.
308, okay.
That's the only weapon that was in it in the start of the game. They've since added revolvers because obviously revolvers exist and they thought they'd add them to the game. They've also added things that I don't know what they do yet, like spray paint. I'm assuming it's to mark your way or something, but I haven't used it. But there's cans of spray paint you can find. You can build little cairns. Sort of like stashes. So you need 50 stones to be able to build this cairn, and then you can. It's called a stone cache or a cairn cache or something like that. But you need 50 stones, and they're not that heavy, but 50 of them is pretty effing heavy. When I went to skin the the moose, was it you've got to carry weight starting off of like about 30, I think. And with all your gear that you carry around, usually comes up to about 23 to 25. So you only have like 5 kilograms to work with. When I went up to the moose to see how much meat he had on him, because usually a deer would only have 9 kilograms, the moose had 38 kilograms of meat on him.
Oh, God.
Huge piece. And it was going to take, and you can either like start cutting off bits of meat, or you can quarter him, so you can get your axe out and chop him up into, like, obviously skin him first, cut him into chunks, and then drag him back. But I was out in the middle of nowhere because I was just wandering around. Broken ribs. I could only carry 1 bag at a time. It must have been 8 bags of meat, all weighing 10 kilograms each. So they're all slowing me down, and I was just dragging them from. I was only like about 20 feet because I found a little cabin nearby.
Oh, nice.
But then, because I've got all that blood, because there's all that dead animal, it tracks all the wolves in the area. so all the wolves are coming to attack you. So you are gonna, and you can't cook inside because this cabin didn't have a cooking space. So I had to go outside, make a little campfire, cook a little bit of meat, eat it, go back, because I had to wait 120 in-game hours for my hibs to heal up.
Oh my god,
So
that's long.
yeah. And then about 2 nights later, I died to a pack of wolves by traveling out in the middle of the night, which was my own fault. I was going back for more moose meat because that stuff was delicious.
Oh god.
Yeah, it's packed full of protein goodness.
Oh, moose is excellent meat. I've eaten moose. It's very good.
So yeah, I went there a little bit too early. It wasn't in the middle of the night. It was first thing in the morning, but it was still dark outside. And then I seen a wolf. And I scared him off by throwing a torch at him. But then 2 more came at me, and my torch was on the floor. Like, oh no! So that ended that one, and I've just started a new one. That one was on, I think it was Interloper, which is the second hardest. So I went down to the second easiest, so not the easiest, the one just above that, whereas it's a little bit easier to find stuff. And animals will hunt you, but they're not as vicious, because that night when I was walking across, like 3 wolves attacked me, which you rarely get. So I went a little bit easier.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds aside from the wolf attacks, which just don't happen in real life, but that's okay.
Yeah, that's the first thing that comes up when you start the game.
Yeah.
Is that the very first sentence is that we do not condone the wanton destruction of wildlife. We know that wolves do not attack people, but based on our story, that is the basis of our game.
Yeah, it's the game.
It's something. Was it the Northern Lights or something like that has done something geomagnetic storms, all that sort of stuff has messed with the wildlife. So. And it gets even freakier because they cause all the lights to come back on and things like that in the middle of the night, and they change the animal.
Huh.
Well, I mean, I would definitely say in terms of unexpected encounters, I'm in the woods. I've had more issues and been more afraid of moose than bear. I would prefer to be attacked by a moose than a bear because you're probably more likely to survive.
Yeah, exactly.
But they're very, very aggressive, and if you come, especially in the fall when they're mating, if you come around a corner and there's a bull moose right in front of you, just back away quickly and get out of there because they will fuck you up.
Yeah, and they're very, very big.
Yeah.
Yeah. In 2019, more people were killed by moose than by bear.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Surprising. Does that include
also? But that's in cars too, right?
Yeah, deer vehicle collisions are the top killer. At 440 people died in 2019, and there were 58,622 collisions.
Yeah, but I mean, in terms of if you hit a moose, you're more likely to get badly injured because the moose. Because they're so tall, they'll fall right on top of you.
Right, and so big. I mean, they probably weigh as much as your car, unless you're driving a truck or something.
Yeah, they're massive. Yeah,
they're very impressive animals. We had them in the forest behind our house in Vermont. There were a lot of them up there.
I actually have an email.
Cool.
From Dave, of course. McBeta, etc., Darkbow, all that. So he says, oddly enough, getting back to a previous topic, he tried Fallout 4 again, still not liking it. But he gave it a run. again. Let's see. In his newest Skyrim, what was that?
Good on you.
Yeah. In his newest Skyrim, he has not journaled it yet. He was doing the brawl in Morthal to get a follower. And Inigo managed to clock up 5,000 gold fine as he was trying to make Thane. And so he needed an extra follower for his house for the Sophia Darkbow tale. So so as he was talking to the Jarl to become Thane, he was getting beaten on the entire time by the guards, I assume. So he ran to the door, saved, and auto saved outside right as he died. So
Oh shoot.
Ouch.
Let's see. But then once he cleared it all up, got challenged by a guard and told him he was staying, everything was good. Inigo had killed every guard in the village apart from one outside the door, apparently. So, so that was it's a new character he's kind of playing around with there. So, yeah, I guess, yeah, if you have Inigo, be careful when you're doing a brawl to get a different follower and you're trying to become Thane and not rack up the largest fine you can possibly get in the village or town, depending where you're at.
Yeah, I wonder. Maybe I'll take Colin. Do you happen to know? Does Inigo have any, presence in Legacy?
Oh, huh.
No, I haven't. I haven't loaded the mod in, so
Okay. Yeah.
There's nothing.
I want a good excuse to have some follower mod, and Inigo or Mauricio are probably the two top of the.
Yeah. I should actually go back to that Mauricio character to see what little bits are left. Like the main part of it's over, but there was some like little extra stuff, finding a little bit more about our story, getting the Sabercat follower thing and all that.
Yeah, I need to come up with a really good backstory for this Legacy run, because I kind of got a little burnt on Skyrim, and this is why I went to Fallout 4 about a month ago, and it's sort of been kind of letting Skyrim kind of rest and percolate for a while.
Yeah.
I need something good to come up with.
Yeah, that's how I've kind of been of late. Once I got through the Mauricio thing, I took mostly a break from it before kind of starting to set up the PC one for Legacy. But yeah, because I mean, you got to take breaks every. I mean, it has been a long
every 1,000 hours or so.
Every 1,000 hours or so. It has been a long time that it's been out at this point. Oh God, we're at what 9.25 years or whatever it is, or 9 years and a month, whatever it is. Long enough.
Yeah, it is. It's over 9 years now. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah. So
I was thinking about it the other day because came up in the group about favorite movie themes or whatever. Was it favorite video game themes? And of course, Skyrim is high on the list, and which cut is one's favorite. And several people had theirs. Mine is From Past to Present, which is I think it's the theme you hear when you first enter Riverwood, when early in the game, and then it's. But yeah, that Skyrim's. I don't know. It came along in a time in my life when I really needed something to distract me, and that particular cut out of the game is probably of all the entire score, that one is the most evocative for me. So it's amazing that a video game can have that much effect on someone's life. But
yeah. I mean, I guess there's a reason to play it for 9 years. Yeah. I think it's because it's so easy to live in it in any way that you want. That makes it much more easy to escape into than some other things. You're not like watching it, or maybe you're playing it, but you're not in it like you are with. You're not in other games like you are, or like even Fallout, where you can build a character and live in the world and all that kind of stuff. Same basic thing, that Bethesda thing. So that's why I was so excited that maybe we get Starfield at some point.
Yeah,
we could all live in space, and although we have No Man's Sky for that.
Yeah,
and No Man's Sky podcast.
1,000 hours, Ray. That's impressive.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at that. I don't know. I've played it off and on, from the very beginning. So it just adds up over time. Yeah. And I mean, probably 400 or 500 of those are, since June. So.
Yeah, when you posted that, I looked back on mine. I think I only had like 40 or 50 hours in the game. That's at the very beginning.
Yeah, I would think I'd probably have a couple hundred hours early on. And I think I played some after June when the other update came out. Was that the one with the base building and all that kind of stuff? Is that what June was? Or was that before that?
No, I think that was before that. The most recent ones, not counting the last two that have happened since this fall, were the living ship and the mechanized vehicles.
Oh, okay.
And what? Oh, multiplayer.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I haven't played with any of those as of yet. So it was probably pre-June that I played then, where it was freighters and bases and all that kind of stuff and the teleporting from place to place and all that.
Yeah.
And you said the multiplayer works really well?
Yeah, it's worked great. Yeah. I played with people on Xbox and on PlayStation.
That's really cool.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's fun because you've got, we've got such a community but it's so siloed because of that, especially with Fallout 76.
Yeah.
That it's good to be able to play with those people in a game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's true. Huh. Cool. Maybe I'll have to pop good old No Man's Sky back in again. Start from scratch.
It's just such a chill game.
Yeah, that's what I always liked about it. Yeah.
When you just want to, spend some time just, kind of cruising around, not having to, worry about if you're min-maxed enough to, to walk into the next cell.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a cool game to go just have fun in for a little while.
Yeah, just even flying around, exploring planets and galaxies or whatever and solar systems.
Because the diversity is just breathtaking.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's really nice to just be able to do that. Because early on, that's all there really was the slow exploration. Of that main story where I think you eventually create a planet or something. Is that what happens at the end of it, I think?
Yeah, I don't even remember because I never made it that far.
I think I got to the very end once and I didn't have I think I needed one more thing. It was like a red seed or something, whatever it was, but that was a while back, And I think you eventually create a planet or something, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, the diversity in planets and life on those planets and all that is pretty crazy. You can just go slowly explore for a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the fascinating thing is that all happens, when you warp into that solar system.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's when everything.
If you're the first one there,
mm-hmm.
So the structure's there, the number of planets and everything, but what those planets are, all gets generated when you go into that system.
Oh, wow.
Isn't it? I mean, it's just as amazing that once somebody's there, then it persists, right? After that. Yeah.
Yep.
Which is pretty amazing too.
That's crazy.
Some pretty incredible server and processing power there.
Yeah.
And must be a very efficient code because otherwise it would just bloat.
And I mean, the game is extremely small.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
Yeah. It's the whole No Man's Sky game is smaller than some of the patches for Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Jeez.
I think it's, maybe 11 gig?
That's it?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, it's small.
I think my Skyrim is like 60 at this point.
Sorry.
Oh man.
I think I have one terabyte SSD devoted to Skyrim and Fallout 4, and a small amount of it has Fallout 4. There's I think 200 gigs left. The rest of it is all Skyrim mods.
Oh man,
for both Legacy and SE.
And SE.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a lot.
A lot. And the game isn't even on that drive. The game's on another.
That's
drive.
just all the that's just the mods and
mods and saves and other stuff. Yeah.
Oh god. Well, it's probably our last one for the year.
Yeah.
So till next year, everyone. Maybe I'll have everything set up on my PC by next year. We'll see.
That'd be good.
We'll see.
Got all my stollen is baked.
Oh yeah, is it? Oh,
I know they look like potatoes, but you can't really see them. They're all little stollens.
Nice.
It's good. It's nice bread. It's good.
Cool.
Gotta make all your candied citrus, and got to make your own marzipan and everything. So it took me a couple days to make it all. It's good.
Yeah.
And then got to soak all the fruit in booze.
Yeah.
Yeah. My grandma always started that in the middle of summer when all the fruit was coming in.
Oh,
my mom did the same thing. She called it a room tough. My mom did anyway. Yeah, she all the fruit and put it in a big jar and keep adding a little bit of booze to it as the layers go up. Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Indeed, that's a very German thing.
Nice. Yeah. It's amazing that it's already the end of December, but
yeah. And I finally eked out the first episode of the No Man's Sky podcast.
Oh yes, I saw. Yeah. Yep.
So that's been fun. So Wasteland Baker and I have been recording for a few weeks now. So, but because editing is no fun and playing games is. I haven't got very much editing done, but those will for now. Those will pop up in the Fallout feed, and Andrew fixed it to where I have a different graphic image, so it doesn't look like it's actually a Fallout feed.
Oh yeah. Just change it to an episode specific artwork. Yeah. Yeah,
but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. We can always make a feed on Anchor.
Yeah,
it's easy enough. Create a email address and boom.
Yep.
There's an Anchor feed. Well,
so the name we came up with is The Butcher and Baker in Space. Although I'm thinking about putting a few more A's in there, so it's space.
Nice.
Appropriate, yes. Oh man. Well, here's moving on to year 10 of Skyrim, and maybe we'll get Starfield news in 2021, and probably not. But look, that's our dream. We'll see what happens with that. But yeah,
I'm pretty sure it's going to drop next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Yep.
What are you smoking? Can you send me some? Because I
yeah, maybe it'll be like the old days where they just last minute said, "Oh yeah, we have this coming out," and it comes out. Who knows?
Yeah,
that'll be a strange way to do it, but yeah.
I think the last one of those was Fallout 4, wasn't it? It was much
pretty. What they didn't announce it till it was pretty much done, right?
Right, here it is, and oh, by the way, it's going to be released in 2 weeks. Yeah, that's how Fallout 4 went. If I remember.
No, it had to be a few months. Did they announce it at E3?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So, and then it was released in November.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. It was probably Oblivion was the last one that was like, boom, boom. Because even Skyrim definitely had ads ahead of time. I'm not sure how far ahead of time though. It may not have been all that long. But also it was a different, media environment at that time too.
Sure.
Drastically different. 9 years has been a drastic change in that. So a decade later, it's very different. But yep, it's been a good 20. Well, it's been a 2020. I don't know if it's been a good 2020, but it's been a 2020. And
pretty much.
We'll be back.
There's still some of it left for everything to go even wrong.
Yeah, that's true. That's a good point.
Thanks for pointing that out.
Yeah, you guys ain't out of the woods yet.
Yeah, we still got 2 more weeks to go. That's a good point. Yeah, anything could happen at that point. So,
well, tomorrow is the solstice, so
there we go. Then we'll be on the good side, getting more light.
That's right.
Well, till 2020, everyone. Take care. 2021. I'm a year behind. Jesus, let's not do 2020 again. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.